Hello everybody, welcome back to Tyrion Cuthbert? Attorney of the Arcane. That's her name, right? Tyrion Cuthbert? Let's go! I finally know the name of the game! Took me, what, four episodes. Yes. Anyway, last episode, we made a girl cry. But it was all in the name of justice, so it's chill. Are you feeling any better? Yeah. I'm okay now. I've been thinking such horrible things this entire time. She looks at you and gives you a warm smile. It's probably the first time you've seen her genuinely smile this time. Genuinely smile since this whole ordeal started. What the? Oh. Thank you. But is everything really going to be okay? I'll make sure of it. I'll get justice for you and your father. It doesn't matter who stands in my way. Even if they're a man, king, or god. You're completely different now. What happened to the nervous wreck from before? Please, forget about that. Anyways, take some time to rest. The trial is going to resume soon. With that, you've done everything you can for now. You've learned a lot about what happened the night of the murder. You just hope it's enough. But even with your investigation, you still know what the prosecution has planned. Has Pierce told you all the details, Mr. Rudolph? Will you remember them? Yes, I pride myself on my eidetic memory. Just so there are no misunderstandings, I do not approve of this. You said it yourself, Lady Steelwind. What was your... You said it yourself, Lady Steelwind. There's no possible way that I could have done the deed. It has to be the bastard child. We don't know what sort of tricks Ruby Tomorrow might pull tomorrow. Just see this as a way of securing a just verdict. For fuck's sake, I did it again! Oh, that's a good bit. Oh, wow. You can't write this shit, man. Alright. Alright, might as well save. Alright, it's time. Hello, Cuthbert. Oh, hi, Miss Mora. You're a lot less jumpy than you were yesterday. I'm glad to see that you're finally getting used to things. So, what did you find in your investigation? Can you tell me some more about everything you've learned over your investigation? Including how she's apparently a piece of shit? Or maybe she is, I don't know. I found a lot of clues that point to what actually happened. Yeah, I know a lot of details about the crime scene, but nothing about the crime itself. Which means I'll have to rely solely on pointing out contradictions in the witnesses' testimonies. Being reactive to the prosecution's move is a valid strategy. Honestly, I think it's a miracle that you got the commander to cooperate with you at all. Right, I almost forgot. Commander White appears to really have it out for Miss Tamora. Actually, I wanted to ask about that. Did something happen between you and Commander White? Miss McCoy, please proceed to the courtroom with your counsel. Let's go, Tyrion. The trial's about to start. You should go. The judge is waiting. Right. Another secret is left buried between you two. Court is now resumed for the trial of Celeste McCoy. Let us review the proceedings from yesterday. Yesterday, the defense presented some shocking oversights made during the investigation. Yes, I personally saw to it that the investigation was conducted properly this time. I see. I suppose that puts my mind at ease. At yesterday's trial, we found an inconsistency between the crime scene photo and the autopsy report. Because of this, the defense tried to push the following narrative: that a third party must have interfered with the crime scene to frame the defendant. However, the prosecution has discovered another explanation. Because of that, the individual who discovered the body would like to testify as to what he saw that night. His eyewitness account will clear up what actually happened. Interesting. It was under my understanding that the individual in question wanted to remain anonymous. Supposedly, this witness was within the gallery of the trial yesterday. After yesterday's proceedings, he felt that he couldn't stay silent any longer. So that's her plan. Why would the witness change his mind like that? Did Steelwind persuade him? Or is something else happening here? Very well. Let's hear from this witness. Witness, please state your name and occupation for the court. My name is Rise Reginald Rudolph. I am a chauffeur of the equine variety. Alright. I'm terribly sorry, but I'm unfamiliar with that profession. He means to say that he's a carriage driver. Oh, I see. But in any case, it is my understanding that you found the body. Am I correct, Mr. Rudolph? Rudolph appears to be writing something in a notebook. He writes with incredible speed. His pen only touches the paper for maybe a second before he's filled an entire page. What the fuck? Mr. Rudolph? Forgive me. I was merely taking notes on the people in this room. Taking notes? The witness has a certain compulsion to keep a record of every event that he witnesses. I wonder if that's gonna come into any use later. I see. Then I assume we will receive an accurate testimony of how you found the body? Actually, I witnessed much more than that. I saw the crime as it was being committed, and I wrote down everything that I saw. What? That is quite the claim! If that's true, why did you choose to remain silent until now? We had initially concluded that the evidence alone was decisive enough. Therefore, we saw no need at the time for his testimony. However, those circumstances clearly changed during yesterday's trial. There's no way the prosecution wouldn't leverage eyewitness testimony from the start. Something else is happening here. Very well. Mr. Rudolph, please testify to the court about what you saw that night. I was transporting a client in my carriage that evening. We were driving by the McCoy Tavern when we heard a disturbance. This occurred at 1:28 a.m. Worried that something was amiss, I walked into the establishment to see what the commotion was about. There I saw the defendant. She was lit by the blue glow of the dining room lights. She had stabbed Flintheart McCoy and was channeling magic into her sword. She removed her sword from Flintheart's chest and he slowly turned to face her. She then stabbed him again in the front. She soon realized that I had witnessed her heinous crime. She let the body fall to the ground and fled the scene. Incredible! If everything occurred as the witness described, then I see no room for debate. Of course, the evidence has always been irrefutable. You don't remember seeing him when you left to look for Celeste. But it was pretty dark. Celeste, did you see this man that night? No, this is my first time meeting him. I didn't see him when I ran out of the tavern, or when I was killing my dad. So, he has to be lying. Does that mean he's the one who killed my dad? She tries her best to hide it, but you can sense her restlessness. It's hard to say right now, but it's definitely a possibility. The defense may now begin their cross-examination. Alright. So, where do we start? There's so much. I kind of want to press him on this just to see if he'll say who he was carrying, but I don't think he will. Who was the passenger in your carriage? Oh, well. The identity of the passenger is irrelevant. This witness is the one who actually observed the crime as it occurred. If there was another person at the scene, they may also have crucial testimony. Passenger is under no obligation to testify before the court, and the current witness's account of the events is more than adequate. I agree. I see no reason for Mr. Rudolph to disclose the identity of our client. The defense must present a more valid reason to do so. Alright, that's kind of what I figured. So first off, you're a piece of shit. Objection! Mr. Rudolph, you testified that you saw my client murdering the victim. And you supposedly saw her casting magic while doing so? Yes, I could never forget such a grisly sight. The moment was burned into my memory. I see. Well, it's funny you say that. How so? Because your entire testimony was a complete lie. What? Are you accusing the witness of perjury? Surely you know that such accusations can be made lightly, Mr. Cuthbert. My accusation is far from baseless, Prosecutor Steelwind. Take a look at this report. The dining room lights are artificial devices that are powered by an arcane power cell. However, the same arcane power cell was broken during the time of the murder. The dining room lights had no energy, and the room would have been pitch black. The witness couldn't have seen anything, much less a homicide. Wait, I can explain. There's no need, witness. You could have easily seen another source of light. Perhaps one of the McCoys lit a candle because of the blackout. The witness clearly described a source of blue light. A candle or a lantern wouldn't emit a color like that. Then the witness was clearly mistaken. The witness records everything he sees in his notebook. He even remembers the exact times that each event occurred. So why would he be incorrect about such a clear and obvious detail? No, what the witness saw was clearly some form of magic. And due to the lack of power, it couldn't have artificial. It must have been an arcane spell. That's it. Oh, what is it, witness? I must have made an incorrect assumption. Please, allow me to revise my testimony. What do you think of this, Prosecutor Steelwind? If the witness wants to revise his testimony, then I see no harm in obliging him. And you, Mr. Cuthbert? If he thinks he saw something different, then it's only fair to hear him out. He'll tear through each of his lies, no matter what he does. I remember now. Yesterday, it was revealed that Flintheart was killed using magic. I must have seen Flintheart's daughter channeling a magic spell. The spell was called Mage Blade, am I correct? That's it. The blue glow that I saw must have been created by Mage Blade. I see. So the blue light that you saw came from the defendant's magic. Mr. Cuthbert, you may proceed with the cross-examination. With pleasure. Alright. Let's look. For the duration of the spell, the edges of this object, usually the blade, become naturally sharp, making it effective as slashing through tough material. Monitor the effect. Yellow radiant glow! Yellow radiant glow! Your Honor, it's clear that the witness's testimony is contradictory. And this piece of evidence proves it. I put it to the wrong one. My bad. I had the right idea, I put it to the... It happens. I don't think I got any penalty, though. Mr. Rudolph, you don't know much about magic, do you? Of course not. Are you trying to say that I should have recognized Celeste's Mage Blade? No, I admit that you probably wouldn't know about Mage Blade. But that's exactly where your mistake was. My mistake? Mr. Rudolph, if you were aware of how Mage Blade works, then you would know that the spell emits a yellow radiant glow. Which means the blue glow you saw couldn't have possibly been Mage Blade. This is ridiculous. I'll grant you that the witness clearly remembers seeing a blue glow. But what significance could such a minor detail have? It's extremely significant, Prosecutor Steelwind. If the witness did see a blue magical glow, then he must have witnessed another spell at the scene. Preposterous! You don't have any evidence to back that claim up. That blue light made a large impression on the witness. He wrote it down in his book, and he specifically mentioned the color. There's no way he would be mistaken about something like that. So, what did you really see, Mr. Rudolph? Did you see my client at the scene casting a spell that she couldn't possibly cast? Or did you see another mage at the scene? Well... Your Honor, this defense has no right to accuse the witness like this. Let me remind you that perjury is a crime, Mr. Rudolph. If you are found to have lied in your testimony, you will be prosecuted. No, wait. Please. Now that is quite enough of that. I've transformed. Garrett Pierce suddenly steps out from the gallery and walks to the witness stand. He's breaking every possible rule in the book, but no one in the room moves to stop him. Bailiff looks at the judge nervously. The judge just narrows his eyes and carefully watches Pierce. Pierce, meanwhile, shoves the still flustered Rudolph off the stand and begins addressing the courtroom. What is he even doing here? I will not stand by while you harass my servant. Pierce, we discussed this. There is no need for you to take the stand. What, pray tell, did they discuss? Nonsense. I have nothing to hide. And if you had done your job properly, I wouldn't have needed to intervene. And his voice sounds too similar to Cuthbert. For the first time, someone doesn't seem to have control of the situation. What is the meaning of this, Mr. Steelwind? Who is this man? This is Garrett Pierce, Your Honor. That is Lord Garrett Pierce to you, Steelwind. I am the honorable heir to the Pierce noble house. In any case, I must apologize. I'm afraid that these misunderstandings are entirely my fault. What do you mean? You see, Rudolph wasn't the only one who witnessed the crime that fateful night. It was me. I was the one who witnessed the crime. I had my driver report the body so that I could remain anonymous. What? Are you saying that you had Rudolph lie for you? I simply dictated to him what I saw and had him repeat that to law enforcement. It simply... No, I don't like the voice still. Fuck. It simply wouldn't do for a member of the nobility to appear publicly in court. That's better. I like that one better. Lord Pierce, regardless of your intentions, this is a very clear act of perjury. From the look on the judge's face, you can easily tell that he won't face any actual consequences. I understand, and I will accept the consequences of that. But I would be remiss if Rudolph's shoddy testimony allowed the girl to escape her crimes. Please, let me testify as to what I saw that night. Oh. Very well. This is highly irregular, but I believe the court will benefit from hearing your testimony. However, know that this misconduct has hurt your credibility. Very well. On the night of the murder, I found myself unable to sleep. So, I went on a leisurely carriage ride around the Cornhaven. I happened to be passing by the McCoy Tavern when I heard a loud commotion from within the building. Curious, I stopped my carriage and took a single step inside the establishment. Then, I saw the scene inside. I saw the defendant stabbing that poor man twice with his sword. Eric Pierce, he's a member of the nobility. That means that he's probably a mage, right? He's the only other mage that was there that night. Does that mean... There's no doubt about it. He is the only person that could have left a trace of transmutation on the body. It has to be the mage that we're looking for. Sorry. This must be a lot for you right now. Don't worry about me. Focus on taking him down. Alright. Let me reread through everything. So far that makes sense. I saw this inside. Saw the defendant. Should I get him on the lights again? Let's press. If he was at the tavern entrance, then that would mean he was here. Alright. You saw the entire scene from the tavern entrance. It would be quite dark considering that the lights weren't operational. Even if my clan was using Mage Blade at the time. Of course. I'd forgotten that detail. I couldn't see what was happening, so I used my magic to illuminate the scene. You used magic at the crime scene? Yes, I remember clearly. I conjured a blue light to illuminate the scene. The same blue light must have been what my driver saw. I thought that Rudolph didn't witness the crime at all. If I had to guess, Mr. Rudolph must have seen the blue light from the carriage. He must have made that detail a part of his testimony earlier. That actually makes a lot of sense now that you think about it. Rudolph was so sure he saw a blue light, it would be strange if he was lying about that. But anyway, which spell did you use to illuminate the crime scene? It was the Conjure Light spell. Duh. Because Lux is Latin for light. Conjuration, Luxo, Gesture none, duration 1 hour, concentration yes. For the duration of the spell, a mote of magical light appears in the caster's hand. The color of the light is chosen by the caster and can be changed at will for the spell's duration. This mote of light provides illumination up to 15 feet of the caster and no further. Now, AotA, if the witness had used magic at the crime scene, then I'd like for a spell compendium to be added to the court record. I see no reason to invade the witness's privacy over a trivial illumination spell. I agree. The defense would need a stronger reason to requisition the witness's spell compendium. Right you are, Your Honor. Your wisdom is truly fitting of your station. Oh, shut up. Here, I just want to look at the evidence. Can I see, like, the feet? So 3 blocks, or 5. If this is supposed to... Is it saying that each square is 5 by 5? Kind of looks like that's what they're implying. But that's, you know, 5, 10, 15... It seems to be a bit more than 5 than the 15 feet. So I question still. He must have been closer. Alright. Let's present. Objection! I just realized his objection sounds different than the voice I gave him, but I'm too far into stop, even though if I started now, I'd probably give a different voice, but I don't feel like it. Lord Pierce, you said that you illuminated the scene from the tavern entrance, and you only took a single step into the building. Of course. I remember it very clearly. I stood only at the entrance. In that case, I'd like for you to take a look at the map of the tavern. If we take a look at this map, that would place me right here, where the W is. Am I correct? Of course. Of course I was. I do not know what you wish to achieve by having me repeat that fact. Well, I find it interesting that you illuminated the crime scene from all the way back then. Considering that the conjure light only illuminates an area within 15 feet. What? This spell's range is irrelevant. We've already established that the victim would have been illuminated by Mage Blade. During his testimony, Lord Pierce clearly stated that he couldn't see what was happening. That's why he cast Conjure Light in the first place. However, Conjure Light doesn't work like a normal source of light. It only provides illumination up to 15 feet of the caster and no further. If he had stayed at the entrance, his spell wouldn't have done anything to help illuminate the scene. But what does this mean? Lord Pierce, did you illuminate the crime scene or not? Well, I can answer that question for you, Your Honor. Lord Pierce did illuminate the scene of the crime. He illuminated it because he was standing right where it happened. Mr. Cuthbert, are you trying to say that Lord Pierce was that close to where the murder occurred? How would that be possible? Well, there's only one way this scenario would make sense, Your Honor. And that would be if Garrick Pierce was the one who murdered Flintheart McCoy. Hold on for a moment. This is absurd. I could have easily used a different spell to illuminate the room. And which spell would that be, Pierce? The name escapes me. Not sure which one it was now that I think about it. You idiot. Well, maybe we can figure it out together. When you relinquish your spell compendium to the court. What? This is a clear violation of my privacy. Steelwind, why aren't you objecting to this? If you had listened to my instructions, you wouldn't be in this situation. You've made your bed, now lie in it. Steelwind, you treacherous! That's enough. It appears that the prosecution has no objections. With everything that has occurred, I must ask that Lord Pierce relinquish his spell compendium to the court. Alright, let's dig through this. Prestigitation, effication, non-gesturous, snap of the finger, duration indefinitely, concentration, yes. Simple and harmless visual effect around our hand. This effect will last demonstration on the spell. Visual effect. So it looks like a light, but if it's simple, that doesn't seem to do much at all. This from now. Conjuration, Acquio, Outstretched Palm, definitely. Yes. Causes water to magically flow out of the caster's hands. This water will flow so long as the caster maintains concentration on the spell. That's fun. Frost Wave. Transmutation. Stretch with hands. Instant. No concentration. What does concentration mean, exactly? Like, you have to really focus in on it, but then, like, what if you just outstretch both your hands casually, like if you're stretching and just frost comes out? Oh. That's scary. I think Common Range is hit with a blast of extremely cold air. Liquid's hit will be immediately frozen, and organic life will immediately enter the stages of hypothermia. That seems good for killing people. I don't really know if that'll tie in yet. There's a chance, especially with that line about the liquids, but it didn't seem to be frozen. Shape liquid, big aqua, index at the target, definitely. Concentration, yes. While concentrating on the spell, the caster can magically manipulate up to 10 liters of liquid and form it into complex shapes. At any time, the caster can choose to freeze the liquid and solidify its current shape. After the spell ends, the frozen liquid will immediately melt. We got our murder weapon, y'all. Good job, Tyrion. We got a spell compendium. With that, this case is as good as yours. Where is it? I didn't even try to stop you from taking the spell compendium. She wouldn't let that happen just to spite Lord Pierce. She definitely still has something up her sleeve. Yeah. Now, AotA, I've looked at the spell in Lord Pierce's compendium. Conjure Light is the only spell that he can cast that would shed a blue light, which renders his testimony and many of his statements false. Ugh. I can practically hear Lord Pierce grinding his teeth. Your Honor, Lord Pierce could very well be a suspect in the murder of Flynn McCoy. The defense argues that this presents enough reasonable doubt to acquit the defendant. I acknowledge that Lord Pierce's actions are quite suspect. However, I will not pass a verdict just yet. There is much more we need to learn. What? That's not how it works. We prove that there's reasonable doubt. It should be enough to acquit me, right? In a normal case, maybe, but it's different for this trial. The public won't accept an unsolved homicide involving magic. Unless we can unequivocally prove your innocence, the court will keep drawing out this case. What? But that's not fair. That's just how the system works. Our court system doesn't exist to exact justice. It exists so that the kingdom can save face. Oh. However, the court will be suspending the trial of Celeste McCoy until further notice. That is, until Lord Pierce can be investigated as a possible suspect.
Objection!
Possible suspect? The very idea of that is simply preposterous, Your Honor. Damn it. I knew she was planning something. Let's revisit the basic facts of the case, shall we? Flynn McCoy was murdered using a blade with a transmutation spell active on it. Mr. Cuthbert, why don't you tell me the spells that Lord Pierce knows? Alright. The spells are Prestidigitation, Conjure Light, Conjure Water, Frostwave, and Shape Liquid. You've realized it too, haven't you? Lord Pierce doesn't know any transmutation spells that can be channeled through a solid object. What? That can't be right. No, but we've already figured it out. Though. You're right. You're absolutely right, Lady Steven. I couldn't have possibly committed the murder. I see. With that in mind, that would leave the defendant as the only possible killer. But he was the only other mage there! He has to be the real murderer! He doesn't know any transmutation spells that can affect a solid object. You can't prove that he stabbed him while casting magic. Wait a minute. How did he do it then? She's right. How did he do it? With the traces of transmutation magic on the wound, then Flynn was definitely stabbed by something magical. But none of his transmutation spells can affect his steel blade. Does that mean he used something else? The defense did cast some doubt on the witness's testimony. Nevertheless, I must conclude that he could not have possibly committed the murder. With that in mind... Please wait, Your Honor. We still can't conclude that Lord Pierce could have committed the crime. What are you on about? Lady Steelwind said it herself, you commoner. I don't know any spells that can be channeled through a metal blade. I'm a bit dumb like that. He's right, which can only mean one thing. You didn't use a metal blade, did you? Uh-oh. What nonsense is this? The autopsy report clearly states that the wound was created by a blade. If he didn't channel magic through a blade, how could he have possibly committed the crime? Yes, your claim seems quite contrary with the facts thus far, Mr. Cuthbert. Oh, that's obvious. Which spell could Lord Pierce have possibly used to kill the victim? Fucking obvious, guys. You see, Your Honor, Garrick Pierce didn't kill the victim using a sword. He killed him using an object shaped exactly like a sword. What? I'm afraid I don't quite understand, Mr. Cuthbert. I'd like for the court to take a look at the Lord Pierce's spell compendium. Garrick Pierce knows a seemingly insignificant spell called Shape Liquid. With it, he can control a body of water and shape it into any complex shape he wants. Then, he can freeze that liquid, maintaining its current shape. A shape like a sword. What? No! Is it possible that he... What do I have to say for... What do you have to say for yourself, Lord Pierce? What do I have to say? Pierce's breathing becomes more frantic. He's clearly not used to being put in a corner like this. You can see his stress and frustration emanating through the eye of Horus. You have him now. Time for the finishing blow. Let's argument, shall we? I'll tell you exactly what I have to say, you commoner. I'm not the one on trial here. We're here because that bastard child didn't know her place. She's just a peasant, but she still learned the arcane arts. And look what happened. I saw the murder. I witnessed everything. That girl used her holy arts to murder her father in a fit of rage. So you're claiming to just have witnessed. I saw the murder, I witnessed everything, but that doesn't make sense, as we already established. And how, pray tell, did you see everything? If you recall, you testified that you only took a single step inside the inn. But you would have needed to be within 15 feet of my client to see them with plunger light. This again? If you're going to keep treading on that one detail, then I admit I stepped further into the inn. I kept that detail out of my testimony, all because I knew that you'd use it to cast suspicion on me. Lord Pierce. But you didn't just keep that detail from your testimony, did you? You testified the opposite. That makes you guilty of committing perjury. No! I mean... miserable wretch! Perjury by Garrick Pierce has been added to your notes. And let's not stop there. For your story to be true, you would have needed to be within 15 feet of my client. According to your testimony, my client had just finished committing a murder. Would she have noticed you? If you were that close, then you would have surely been suspect to apprehend her. So why didn't you? Don't you have a duty to your citizens? Shut up! Shut your dirty mouth. Shut your dirty peasant mouth. That woman was armed. I had no reason to put my life in danger. She was wielding a sword after the murder. I was terrified when I saw her holding that bloody sword. My life was in danger. Please. Here. She wasn't holding the sword. Someone else already had their hands on it. But that can't be right, can it, Lord Pierce? This photo of the crime scene shows that the sword was left in the victim's body. How could she still be wielding a sword if she left it there? What? Damn you! Damn you! Steelwind, why aren't you saying anything? What? Prosecutor Steelwind has lost her usual air of confidence. I find it strange, though. Even when you had the advantage, she always maintained her usual poise. Lord Pierce, please, pull yourself together. How can I remain calm when this charlatan is trying to free me? This is a complete travesty of our justice system. I came here to reveal the truth and testify against that criminal. And what do I get instead? Slander from some lowly defense attorney. I came here to reveal the truth and testify against that criminal. What do I do now? Oh, yeah, the perjury. You talk about justice, but you've committed several acts of perjury to twist the outcome of this trial. You're clearly not acting in good faith. You don't care about justice. You just want to further your agenda. So admit it, Pierce. You created a makeshift sword using shape liquid and used it to impale Flintheart. You've shoved my client's sword into the wound while the remnants of the real murder weapon evaporated. It was the perfect crime, wasn't it? What? Lord Pierce, my apologies, Your Honor. It's just that I realized something absolutely hilarious. What? Has he finally lost his mind? The defense put forward an interesting theory, but there's one problem with it. And what's that? I think you said it yourself. You shoved that sword into the wound while the remnants of the real murder evaporated. It was a perfect crime, wasn't it? You see, it would have been the perfect crime. Because any evidence to support that theory would have evaporated with that frozen blade. What? I like how he's hyping up his own murder. Like, he's setting up his own murder methods while still being like, I totally didn't do it. No! If you used a nice way to kill Flintheart, it would have been evaporated by now. And that means there would be nothing left of the murder weapon. You've spun quite the tale here today. But in the end, you don't have a shred of evidence to support it. Yes, I do! The fucking bottle! You have nothing on me! Isn't there anything we can do? You become quiet. Tyrion, isn't he saying anything? Is it really hopeless? All it takes is one look at the expression on your face. Any word she has instantly disappears, because she realizes the expression on your face is the same expression you made every time you defeated her. What is this? You can glare at me all you want. It won't change the fact that you've lost. I despise people like you. Wait, did Tyrion say that? I despise people like you. You twist the system to serve your own ends. You trample on the lives of innocent people. But as long as I'm here, I will never let that happen again.
Naught can remain concealed.
What did I just do? My head feels like I'm about to burst. Pain is unbearable and overwhelming. But at the same time, you feel an extreme sense of clarity. As if you can see more than you could before. I can't believe that peasant pushed me this far. Once again, you see Pierce's thoughts through the eyes of Horus. But it feels different than usual. It's more intense and potent this time. It's almost as if you can do more than just read his surface thoughts. Alright. You've activated the Empowered Eye. With it, you'll be able to do more than see the witness's thoughts. You'll also be able to affect what they think about. Project items into Pierce's mind to evoke thoughts from him. You want to project items that making them with the murder. Evoking the right thoughts won't raise your insight. Once the insight gauge is filled with everything you need to implicate him. Alright. Why am I thinking of such a thing? Really? It's the final piece of the puzzle, bro. Alright, let's use our magic. Conjure light. What kind of fool installs artificery, only to leave it in disrepair? I would have never had to cast Conjure Light if those lights were functional. Okay. Shape liquid. After all the trouble I went to, I can't believe that lawyer figured out the spell I used. Well, no matter. It's not as if there's any evidence to prove that I used it. I'm lucky that old fool had that bottle of water with him. Water from a bottle? Wait, a bottle? Well then, as riveting as this has been, I believe it's time for me to take my leave. Now wait a minute, Pierce. What is it now, you wretch? I'll say it as many times as you need to hear. There is no evidence of a liquefied weapon at the scene of the crime. Bro. He was really trying to pull that one on me. What a fucking idiot. You're right, P.S. If you did use shape liquid on a body of water, the weapon would have evaporated entirely. Ah, it seems you've finally gotten that fact through your thick head. Bravo. But let's not get ahead of ourselves, P.S. What if you didn't use shape liquid on a body of water? What if it was another type of liquid? What are you going on about? P.S. Shape liquid doesn't work on just water. It works on all kinds of liquids. This shattered bottle contained the liquids that you cast your spell on, didn't it? Show them a picture of the shattered bottle of lotus juice. That bottle. Yes, I found the shattered bottle on the ground near the entrance of the McCoy Inn. I wonder what caused it to shatter. Ugh. You must have decided to use any liquid you could find. Luckily for you, the victim was holding the perfect quantity of liquid in his hands. I wonder, Lord P.S., if we had someone analyze the broken pieces of this bottle, would we find traces of a transmutation magic? You little... That still proves nothing. So what if there are traces of magic on the shattered bottle? You still don't have a murder weapon. It wasn't finished, P.S. What? You see, the liquid contained in this bottle wasn't water. It was soda. So? What difference does that make? A blade of ice made out of water would have evaporated entirely. But a blade of ice made out of soda would leave a puddle of dried residue. No, it can't be. I had wondered why there was such a circular trace of magic under the body. If we check the outline of the trace, I bet we'd find a dried puddle of soda residue. That would prove that you used your magic on that soda. There's your murder weapon, P.S. And that's checkmate. Bailiff, tell Orm to analyze the crime scene at once. We must determine if this puddle of soda residue exists. The time window to find trace of magic is closing. So, we had our team search the crime scene for that soda puddle. I really can't believe it, but we found it. In fact, the outline of the dry soda lines up exactly with the outline of the traces of transmutation magic. We checked the broken bottle, too. There were traces of transmutation magic on it as well. There is no doubt about it. Someone used magic on that soda. I see. Thank you, Orm. Please escort Lord Pierce back to the stand. What do you have to say for yourself, Pierce? What do you think you've accomplished here today? Do you honestly think that you can indict me? I'm an aristocrat from the highest echelons of our society. That fool of a man was an insurgent. He was a threat to society, and I did my civic duty by removing him. Objection! Bailiff, please escort the witness to a holding cell. Steelwind? First-degree murder is punishable by execution, Lord Pierce. I suggest you remain silent, lest you incriminate yourself further. What? You can't be serious. Shut your insidious mouth! Well, what are you all waiting for? Take him away. Yes, take him away at once. Because she's higher than him, so she can do that. She's like one of the only people that can pull that shit. I can't believe it. We actually won! Tyrion. Hey. That's all she can do to hold back her tears. No need to say anything. You know, her face says it all. Thank you. You've more than exceeded my expectations today. Mr. Mora, I'll be honest. When I realized that the murder weapon evaporated, I thought the case was shot. I can't believe you were able to turn that around. It was just luck. If he had used water, we would have been done for. It had nothing to do with luck. You were able to deduce which liquid that he used, and you did it just by looking at a few shards of broken glass. Your skills of deduction never cease to amaze me. It's not exactly true. Celeste there, you can't tell her about her new ability. Why not? Celeste is tired. You all are quite lively. There's no need for such hostility. Though, I wouldn't expect any less from the Hound of the Eye Taker. Whoa, that's a dope name. Ooh. What's that? What's your deal, man? Wait, what does she mean by that? Glance at Miss Tamora. When she meets your gaze, she immediately looks away. She looks like she's focusing. Almost as if to protect herself from a certain eye. I must admit, I was hoping to test my blade against you directly. However, your protégé proved to be a worthy adversary. Thank you? Is this some kind of game to you? You talk about trials as if there's some kind of competition. Your action almost condemned an innocent woman to death. Our system operates by having two powers of opposition. When those powers are balanced, justice prevails. Make no mistake, your victory today was our system working as intended. Working as intended. You know very well our system only exists to protect your people. I know. Huh? In any case, it looks like we'll be facing each other more frequently in the future. I look forward to doing battle with you again, Tyrion Cuthbert. She's cool. What a strange girl. Well, that kind of killed the mood, didn't it? Not at all. I think we should celebrate. No? What do you have in mind? There's this amazing restaurant in the upper quarter of the capital city. They usually only serve nobles, but they let anyone in if they have enough gold. Wait, do we have enough gold? Of course we do. Don't worry about the details. I'll handle everything. Wait, just how much money does Mr. Tamora make? So I began my journey into the world of law and magic. Our justice system is rotten to its core, and I'll have many trials ahead. Regardless, I'll keep fighting on and get justice for each and every one of my clients. You heard it there. Episode end. Episode has ended. Yeah, fine, I'll do this too. This feeling, I knew it. My counterpart has finally awakened. I can't believe it. I've been waiting for so long. Are you the creepy girl? I can't wait for the day when I see his eyes draped in agony. Fuck that mean? I think I got a new game. Well, that's odd. That's an odd way to do it. But yeah, next episode. Case 2. Oh, I really like that case. It was pretty simple, but I mean, it is a case 1. I think the twist of oh, it was the Lotus Juice. I think that was pretty easy to see from as soon as you saw the magical spell. So they kind of played it out a little longer than, well, like, that's probably the only real complaint I had with that case, and like, so like, shit, man, that was a good case. I like the characters, I like the world. I think it's a really good, like, obviously inspired by Phoenix Wright, but I think it's also a really good evolution of those games. In a lot of ways, we'll see, you know, when I'm done with all 5 trials how I feel, but I really fucking like this game, man. It's pretty cool. So yeah, next episode, join me for case 2. Also, sorry for the super long episodes. I get so excited that it's like, man, I don't want to end the episode, so I just keep going. But no, we are ending the episode now. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.